What's up? What's up? Welcome to my reviews of Hallmark Channel original movies. This time over a film that I did not expect to like, but I was pleasantly surprised, and I was brought to tears. My review of Butlers in Love. Now, this film, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 British accents. that is the award it deserves. Because in the beginning, I said, what the heck am I watching? And by the end, I was going, Butler, Butler, Butler. Literally, by myself, in this very sad room, going, cheering on the butlerness and the pairing of wine and chocolate. This movie, I'm gonna be honest, I was very questionable. I didn't even know if I wanted to watch it because I was like, Butlers, this sounds like, this is like making me crazy, you know what I mean? Like, when you hear the title, you're like, this is gonna be, like, silly. Like, I don't know what they're doing. And I was like, Butlers, don't they just, like, hold stuff? But they do so much. And this movie was kind of incredible. It was incredible. I don't know why, but I had my notebook. That was it. Hello? How are you? You can see my chest. So we're going to get into it. I want to get good lighting, but that's not possible, so instead, I'm going to send the... No, that just looks like I'm a porn director. That's... Bring up the knees. Oh, there we go. I'm going to bring it right here. Okay. So, first character we're introduced to is Emma. She's a redhead. You know what that means. She's feisty. She's fiery. She's interesting. I like her. Okay, her whole personality is like, I want to be a butler, but I'm like heckin' busy, and I can do whatever I want. She is a winner, but we're going to get into it. And then you got Charles Willoughby. so Charles Willoughby, who is like the main butler dude, who's like, hey, yo, girl. I guess I should talk about the plot. That's what I'm doing. Let's go into it. So she applies to all these schools, and she's like, I failed. And then Charles Willoughby calls her and is like, oh, you've managed to get in. You've managed to get into the school of butlering. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's because, like, but the whole thing is that, like, she didn't actually get in. It was because somebody else dropped out. So she's, like, second choice. So this is a big part of her character arc that we gotta keep on to. We're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then we're introduced right away to this dude named Henry. He's the love interest. His whole family, we find out later that his family is a butler. He's a legacy butler, which I didn't know was a thing. But I'm watching you. Legacy butlers, where they butler generation after generation. This is an important key concept. So basically, as they go, he's doing like real good, and he's like all like, I'm so good, I'm so talented, and Emma's not having it because like he broke her plates. But that's that's the whole problem. She's like, you broke my plates, I'm sassy, and so they don't have to deal with that. And so then she sucks over and over again. Not in the fun way, in a boring way. She just does really badly because she's like, I want it so bad, but I can't do it right. And he's like, I don't even have to try because I hate this. He doesn't want to be there. And so, like, all of a sudden, connection. This manor, this place, this school in Maryland, which I was very surprised that it was in Maryland, but then again, I guess that's where American butlers are. Anyways, the butlers do the thing. And yeah, so they like have this like romantic stuff of like, she's like, I want to improve, and actually no, before that she's sucking, right? She's doing awful. She's in like second to last place, and the guy in last place, he's like, gotta go home because I suck. And so she is like, oh my gosh, my heart. And the guy, and then her like roommate is like, you should find the hot guy. And she's like, okay. She's like, I don't want to do it. So Emma's still contrary. And then she gets called into the office, and Charles is like, you suck. But I know you have a heart, so you should talk to the guy who hates it and hates what he's doing, but he's there. Because, like, he wants to be a cook, but his whole family, like, they're like, well, you can't be a cook, you must be a butler. And actually, I can't do this. You must be, I am trying to do that just sounds, you're trying to be a butler, but you can't be a cook, because you gotta be a butler. I sounded like a barrel of crawfish. A barrel of crawfish. Anyways, she's all sad, right? And she goes, okay, we're gonna go. And so she ends up like getting close, and they end up getting all romantic and stuff, and having these cute moments as they're like sharing. And then, oh my gosh, this part got to me. It's a very emotional part. I'm watching you, Bo. Anyways, gets to this emotional part where they're like, he's like, it's our day off, we should go for a walk. And she's like, okay, let's go for a walk. So they go out, and they're walking, and they're almost at the mansion. And they've been like having all these close talks, all this deep emotion, because they had wine together, and they ate together. And she's like, and he's like, I think you cute. And so he leans in for a kiss, and she almost, but then she's like, I have to be focused, which is the most annoying thing, because I was like, you need to you need to pound it. Just slide in. You know, I was cheering. I was like, go, boy, go, boy, go. But apparently he couldn't hear that. He could hear it. She was being a dumb bitch. So, it didn't matter. Because then she meets his parents, because his parents show up. And they're like, you must be a banana. And he's like, I'm going to be a cook. And they're like, no. And he's like, okay. And she's like, oh my gosh, why are you the worst? Why are you so sad? But then they have a adorable little moment where he like, then they have to like, they have all the stuff, and then they take the tests, and then they win, and they graduate, and then she's like, you should go for it again. And then he cooks for everybody, and then he's like, Mom and Dad, I can cook. And they're like, no, you gotta be a butler. That's why you're going to be a good butler, because you can cook too. And she was like, no. And she was like, bye, I love you. And so she gets a job in Scotland, and then she goes to Scotland, and then she's like, oh my gosh, I love him, because they're eating bolognese or something. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to be a butler, I'm going to be a cook. And I'm like, I don't know why you couldn't have done this earlier. You had 15 chances, and he tried every single time, and he officially was like, Bob, peace out, Mom and Dad, boop, boop, let me fly like a chicken, and then he left, and then they kissed in Scotland, and that's the whole film. But we're going to do a deep dive into my favorite moments, okay, the key moments, when they're talking about their families and their lives, okay, that was cute. When they had this, like, adorable, I'm gonna go into this whole scene. There was they sit out, so after they graduate, they're like, oh, how do you feel? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, I got something for you. And she's like, oh my gosh, what could it be? I don't even know. And he makes this adorable little dinner. You wanna know how many times I've been like, I wanna make a dinner for somebody. I wanna eat under the lights. Under the stars. I want to eat. I want to have me some wine and chocolates under the dinner table as I'm talking about with my love of my life. And they did that. He did that. And it was like so genuine. It was so genuine. Okay, that's also why I'm going into this movie. Going off of that topic. Because that thing was amazing. But they were so... As I said, I went into it kind of pessimistic. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if this movie's going to be good. It's about butlers. What do I know about butling? You know? But then I was like, there is so much to butling. There's so much to it. And my heart. I felt entranced. I felt entranced. Because... they were real. Like, every time that they talked, and like he would like laugh at her jokes because she had great comedic timing. That's all I'm gonna say. She was like solid because she was like believable that she was like anxious, like by the book kind of gal who like worked constantly as like the routine. We all know the routine, but like something about her personality was like very much like that kind of girl. It wasn't. It didn't seem forced. It was like this is a girl that I know in high school that I know now. Like she reminded me of my real life friend who was like actually this way. Like she just works, and she knows that she's doing it. She doesn't want to do it, but she still does it, and like she's aware. And so like every time she did stuff, she was like, "Good." That was one of my favorite moments. Where she was like, "Oh, oh, great." She just did this thing, and I thought it was the funniest thing. I felt like she was like real, and I appreciate that. And then he was like, he just didn't even care, and I appreciated that too. Like his personality, he was just like kind of whimsical. He was just like this guy who was like, I'm here. Like he wasn't fake. He wasn't like, oh my gosh, over dramatic. He was just like, I'm here. I don't really want to be here, but I'm good at things. He kind of reminds me of me doing things because he's like, I just have to get it done. I kind of care. I'm gonna do it right, but I don't really want to do it. Like that is it. Really, he really tapped into that, and I really appreciated it because like he was doing a good job of just being that kind of dude, and then like their chemistry, the chemistry, taking me back to freaking 10th grade science because it was real. It was real. They were so close. Their emotions. Oh my gosh. I thought I was gonna get bullied. The ghosts were gonna bully me. This girl was like so real. Like their relationship, it was so real. Like all his, like the way that they looked at each other was like so heartfelt. Like you could tell when he was laughing and stuff. Like when they're at that romantic thing that he planned for her, him like laughing and joking seemed genuine. Like he was actually having like a good time talking to her, which is like that is what I need. This is the kind of things that I feel, connected. He was like really genuine. Also, these cute little accent things that he would do every time. I don't know if he did that as like, I don't know if it was like the actor doing it as a joke or if it was like actually in the script. But he did such a good job of being like, I'm proud Willie Bear. And he was like, I'm going to drink. And I was like, this man is so funny. Like he was just like a genuine, real person. And I felt like this very odd story about a Butlers was so realistic that I was like, maybe I need to become a butler. and it really tugged at my heartstrings. But this film was phenomenal, and I like Hallmark has been throwing things like throwing me 180 degrees left and right, and like this film just told me like you can't be judging by the title because you can't be judging from the first 5 minutes, and people be thinking that, but you can't because this one I was gone. I was like, this is gonna be an hour and a half of me being like, this is lame, to like me being fully invested in this butler romance, and like I'm so glad that these butlers fell in love. And then the end with they were like sucking face hard. They were like, I don't, like the chemistry was there, and like they just, I just loved it. I just loved it. Go Team Hallmark, you're doing a good job, and those actors and actresses, you did a fantastic job. No complaints. So, thank you for this program that I got to enjoy on this lovely Thursday night. Thank you.